Hello, welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'm doing what I usually do. Another day filled with protein shakes and working out. And oh yeah, I've started I'm trying a new diet. I always like to try new things. So now I'm doing the doing the Jimin diet. Jimin, the guy from BTS. His diet is he just eats once a day, and does all of his regular stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to do a version of that. So, I'm gonna eat. I've been doing it for a couple of days. I just eat, once a day, or once in a 24-hour period, because my days are weird. So I eat once in a 24-hour period, and it's under 1,500 calories, because my body naturally burns 1,500 calories. Um, well, um, that's what you're supposed to do this math problem with like your height and your weight, and it tells you how much calories your body should be burning. So mine's roughly 1,500. It's not exactly, but so I rounded it off. So like I eat once a day, I eat once in a 24-hour period, and I eat 1,500 calories or under 1,500 calories. And I mean I haven't had any problems. I mean I've gone like I think the longest I've gone without eating is 3 months. So like, it's like whatever. I just like trying new things. It's whatever. Yeah, I need a life. I know, but okay. So like I love ironic news. I guess like Twitter. Um, is a big reason why we have problems in this country. Like it's I don't know what the proper word is. Election fraud. There you go. Because Twitter doesn't like certain political people, they either ban them or suppress information about them, or suppress them or edit them, whatever. And then if it's someone that they like, they like only run good stories about them. A perfect example was like last election, like Joe Biden. There's lots of horrible stories about Joe Biden, including racist stories, taking money from China stories. And then stories that don't matter, like his son having problems with certain types of people, and Joe Biden, protecting his son. But if all that stuff was made public, the average person might not want to vote for a person like that. But Twitter suppressed that information. So did other news media outlets, because they want Biden to win. So of course they're not going to publish the truth about Biden. But a person like Trump, Twitter will, if Trump says something, Twitter Twitter has banned him. But like other social media and other news outlets, they obviously don't like Trump, so they only post bad things about him and spread false news, like Russia having helped Trump win in the election. That's not true. But like the news media and Twitter kept going with that story for 4 years, saying that Russia helped Trump win, and it was a fake election. There's no proof of that happening. So, but hey, Twitter can just do what they want, apparently. And then obviously they banned Trump from Twitter, the sitting president, but all the social media did the same thing, pretty much. Not all of them, but most of them. They're all in collusion because they are trying to affect the election. So to me, right there, that's voter fraud. But Uganda, they had an election recently, and they said because Twitter, I'm paraphrasing, but because Twitter causes voter fraud, because Twitter only promotes one side. That's to me that's voter fraud, or it's the assistance to voter fraud. It's like it helps the process. There you go. Uganda banned Twitter and other social media because of what happened over here in America, because there's plenty of proof of voter fraud. Hiding stories to help another candidate win, to me that's voter fraud, because people who are voting without all the information, they're not they're not voting for the right candidate. That's voter fraud. So yeah, so I do consider Twitter a major cause of voter fraud. So anyway, so Uganda banned Twitter. Okay, so then Twitter had the nerve to go, well, we're against internet shutdowns, and they said that it causes it's wait, I can get the exact quote. Oh, it's right here. We strongly condemn internet shutdowns. They are hugely harmful, violate basic human rights and the principles of the open internet. Isn't that ironic that that's what Twitter said when the only thing they've been doing for the past 4 years is suppressing information and banning people who they don't agree with, basically people who support Trump. And then if there's a bad story about Biden, they like suppress it or ban people who talk about the story. But they have the nerve to say, we strongly condemn internet shutdowns. The only thing they've done is shut people down. They shut down over 70,000 users, or I'm sorry, accounts on Twitter because they said things that they didn't agree with. But their quote is, we strongly condemn internet shutdowns. Twitter is full of shit. It's like those rules, you know, they apply to you but not to me. I have this set of rules, okay? I don't follow them though, Twitter. I don't follow the rules I set, but you should follow them. I mean, that alone is it just shows the hypocrisy of Twitter. I can't believe it. And like, I don't know who's really in charge of Twitter, because I doubt that Mountain Man is. Because he doesn't come off that bright. Because if he's in charge of Twitter, he's an idiot. Yeah, I'm not saying his name, 'cause I don't give a fuck. But Twitter as a whole is just ridiculous. Like that quote alone should make people want to leave in masses. But the only problem is when you go somewhere else, Twitter and Amazon and whatever, they're just gonna shut down the other place you're going to, because there's a some bullshit going on. But yeah, like, I think this is the beginning of the end of Twitter, and I think Twitter is going to become another MySpace, and I think Facebook is going to become another MySpace, because millions of people are leaving. Both of these companies have like their stock has dropped drastically. Amazon's different because Amazon, you shop on Amazon, but like Twitter and like Facebook, like smarter people are starting to realize that censorship in general is just bad. Because like, if you don't like whatever, Trump or anyone, whatever, it doesn't matter who you don't like, by suppressing them, you're not really changing anything. You're just proving their point. You're proving that you're afraid of them. You're proving that, like, I'm so afraid of what this person or company or whatever has to say, I can't, I don't have I don't know what the proper word is, but you don't have, I guess, the countermeasures of thought to like, fight back. So you just like shut them down. But what happens when you shut something down? It just gets stronger underground. I mean, people don't go away. Just because you censor something doesn't mean it goes away. It just changes location. It's almost better to have it out in the open. So now, I mean, you're trying to suppress half America, basically. Like half of the people who voted for Trump. So you think just because you take them off the internet that way of thinking's gone? No. Now it's just stronger, and now they are less or even more less likely to hear the other side, because now they think the other side is just, a child who just goes, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. So, it just causes more divisiveness. So who's ever in charge of Twitter, like the real person in charge of Twitter, is an idiot. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like, shutting someone down and taking away their voice doesn't really take away their voice. Their voice goes somewhere else, and it gets stronger. Because now you've, like, condensed it, and now they have less interference. See, like, because I guess the good thing about Twitter was, if you had an idea and you put it out there, you get feedback. Lots of feedback from quote-unquote both sides. I'm sure there's more than two sides to all of this, but you get a lot of different opinions. I guess Twitter just wants an echo chamber. But you know what happens when you live in an echo chamber? Nothing. Nothing gets done. Nothing changes. It's just a stagnant, I guess, internet society, but it kind of reflects real society in a small way. Because Twitter isn't real life, but obviously there is a certain segment of population that do think like the masses on Twitter. But imagine like if everyone just thought the same. That's what Twitter wants. That is a stagnant society where like nothing, and if things don't change, things won't get better. Things can change for the worse, things can change for the better. But if there's no other like opinion, no other, if everyone's thinking the same way, it's definitely going to get worse. Definitely going to get worse. Multiple ideas make choices, and then people get to pick from those choices. Oh, that choice isn't so good. Oh, that seems very viable. I like the way that person's thinking. I never thought like that before. Like, multiple ideas, multiple ways of thinking open up minds. Why would you want a society of closed-minded people? Twitter hurts society by far. They whatever Twitter is. I don't know how you really address. Sorry, I don't know the pronouns of Twitter. I'm just gonna call it a thing, you know. So Uganda did the right thing for banning Twitter. I don't know how long the ban's gonna stay, but I bet you if they kept it, their country would actually be a better place. And I hope more Americans leave Twitter. I mean, I wish just more Americans would just leave social media. I mean, there's really, with all the fake news, because fake news is quote unquote real. I just feel weird saying fake news is real. I mean, if you haven't seen all the news for the past 4 years, and then also like how the news like politicalizes everything. I mean, look at like now that Trump is not the president, the COVID talks are changing because like now the lockdowns, now more and more people are openly saying, like, people in politics are saying, yeah, the lockdowns are bad. Now granted, there's been plenty of science proof that the lockdowns are bad, but science goes out the window when you're trying to blame Trump for the coup. Okay, but now that Trump's gone, I like how magically the scientists who have been saying, yeah, the lockdown is bad and here's why, their scientific information is now being let out to the public. See, that's another example of the social media and the media suppressing information. This information has been out for a while, because I don't like follow American news. Like I go to other countries because like, well, other countries. Yeah, it sucks to say other countries are better than America. Not all of them, but some are. Anyway, there have been studies from like last year saying that the lockdowns are pointless. Now, granted, these studies are from other countries, but like I like how America thinks, oh, it's from another country, it doesn't count. America is one of the most corrupt countries on the planet. So like I don't believe anything I hear from any medical person, because medical means money, and so like when there's money involved, people make shit up. Other countries don't gain anything by telling, by putting out the real shit. Because in America, like I said, the hospitals get like a stipend from the government for every COVID case they have. So of course they're gonna lie about the cases. So I don't believe anything an American says about this. But anyway, so yeah, I just like now how the information is finally being let out that like the lockdowns are pointless, and like the masks are pointless too. There's actually no proof that the mask stops the spread of it. So, and besides, it has the COVID has a 99.9999 whatever chance of survival. It's just like the flu or pneumonia. We don't lock down the country for the flu or pneumonia. People gotta wake up, but when you have our media constantly trying to scare people, you're gonna scare people. The average American's dumb. And well, proof is the proof is with our social media. Oh God. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Have a good one. Peace.